Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of oil and natural gas. I've got oil behind me. I will give you my financial opinion. Please don't use it as advice. And what I'm going to do is we're going to walk through this. We're going to look at oil, natural gas, and some of the companies. We'll look at some energy service companies. And I'll give you my opinion. So here we go. Let's dive in. So I've got light crude oil futures behind me. This is on a daily chart. We got sold off here, kind of a big down day there. Everybody thinks that magically this oil is going to come online, right? And we're came back to the support resistance area. That's what the white line is. What the white line is our previous time that we traded there. We had a bunch of contact points roughly in that area. There's a lot of resistance. Whenever you come back through it, you're going to get some sellers. Boom, gets hit on its head. But it looks like we're trying to find our footing here. Now, I'm going to pull something up real quick. It's from Twitter, Eric Natal, and I'm just going to pull this up real quick and go to his Twitter. What he is showing here, because I was looking at it earlier. Let me go down real quick, guys. It's right here. It says an energy crisis. Here, let me read it. It says an energy crisis is in the making, summarized in two graphs. U.S. shale plus Iran plus Venezuela cannot make up for the quantum of loss of Russian exports. The only ending to this has to be demand destruction. And that means an oil price much higher than current. Now, what we've got in this chart here, and I know I really wanted to share this with everybody. This is the U.S. Big Three, crude, gasoline, and distillate inventory deficit to the 4-year average. This is the 4-year average is 0. And look what we're doing. We are eating through and creating this massive deficit, eating through our inventories. We are not in balance. We are, this is a problem. This is U.S. crude oil inventory deficit to the 4-year average. This is just oil itself, and we are going and accelerating the deficits with time. What this means is that the oil price is messed up. We can't be just blowing through our inventory, creating this large deficit for no reason. And all we're doing in this, in my opinion, is we hit some resistance. We're having a short pause before we move higher. That's what I think's happening. And this resistance is coming from this previous trading there. So what I'm doing with this nice barrel pattern that we've got and broken to the upside is I would be a buyer here. I would not be a seller. I'd be a buyer or holding on. It's as simple as that. I think we're going higher eventually. Natural gas, we're still in this pattern here. We were up 3% today. I think we'll probably continue higher at some point, but we're still within the pattern. Long term, though, we have broken to the upside of this trend line, and we're just consolidating above it. XOP coming into a little bit of resistance. That's where we're at, this white top line of resistance. And we're pausing there at the moment. Everything still looks good. The sellers aren't really selling and driving this thing lower. So to me, it looks a-okay. And then most of these companies, they're all in the same type of scenario. We're all at the resistance areas. SM getting sold off a little bit today. Looks like it wants to rest. CDEV's in the same situation. It wants to rest. We're at this basically spot that we're just bouncing and hitting off some sellers. Crew Energy did the opposite. We're putting in a big bullish engulfing, looking like this wants to launch higher. Mixed signals in the group. This is more of a natural gas company, though, but that one looks good. I like Crew Energy a lot. It's one of my overweight positions. Callum Petroleum's just chilling out, just like SM Energy and CDEV. They all trade very similarly. We're right at that resistance line. Athabasca Oil, we're above support, so we're at that resistance support area. That's what this white line is going across. If we can break through this, I think we've got a good launching pad to go to 550, 560, somewhere in that range. Recaf, I still like Recaf. It is just chilling, going sideways for a little while. We're coming up to a dead period. It looks like we got good support underneath it. Crescent Point, again, we're at that resistance line. If we look at the big picture view here, we're at this resistance area in this section here. We got to fight through it. It's going to take some time. Northern Oil and Gas, we've broken out. We are doing the cheetah relax mode up here. before a wild run. So again, I like it down here. I'm a buyer down there in that area. GTE, another one that's just been moving sideways. That's on the dailies. So we're already at the dailies. Yep, just moving sideways. Nothing. I wouldn't do anything with it. Tellurians, ooh, bullish engulfing. Probably going to head higher at some point. That one looks good. And we're right above the downtrend line here. That's one. I got to remind myself because I still work, guys. I still go to work and all that. But I do want to buy TEL in the donations portfolio right here. This one looks good for me to do a little bit of buying here. Podevco, yeah, we're coming back down. Is the party over? No, just hold on, guys. We're back in the pattern. It got rejected. We'll take a run at it again soon. Oasis, yep, coming back down a little bit. Again, let's see if we can turn this thing around within the pattern and make a run higher eventually. CRK just bopping sideways today, just a normal down day. You see here, we kind of broke out of that there. Sandridge SD, another one that's got a little bit of wick at the top. Again, I still like it up here. Looks like it's at 52-week highs. Ring Energy, another one that I really, really like. Looks like we're just kind of like creating this like sideways motion pattern. What we're doing is we're sitting on top of this long resistance area that we could eventually break to the upside. Looking at Surge Energy. Surge Energy is surging higher. This thing has a really cool looking pattern. It's got a lot of well, there's a lot of, we'll call it resistance coming through here, but we're going to march our way higher. Look at the volume down here. Moving on up. I do think this is going to go higher eventually. Tamarack Valley Energy, it's getting a little bit of resistance up there. You can see it. A little bit of selling pressure, but it's just moving sideways. It's not really being driven lower. Looking at Crescent Energy, yeah, we got a little bit of a sell-off today. Everything looks okay, though. Meg Energy. So Meg Energy, somebody wanted me to look at this. Big long-term picture. We've got this. I'll draw the bottom pattern. I didn't draw it in there, but you guys can see it. It's basically a megaphone-type pattern. Bouncing back and forth. The buy point here would have been at $2. Coming on up. We're breaking through this. We're coming through and hitting some resistance over there. We could probably do a retest here before moving higher. It does look good, though. It's a bullish piercing pattern right there. Going to the energy service companies. To me, it just looks like a continuation pattern. Something like that. It goes up, does like a flag type pattern. Eventually, it'll work its way higher. And this is a breakout of a big long-term breakout on OIH right here. Nice big long-term. It looks good. Tetra Technologies. Let me draw this thing a little bit different here, guys. I'm gonna go off of this guy here, and then kind of hug it up. But that's, you can kind of hug it up. There was like a trend line there. You got a trend line kind of above it, like here. You can go all the way to the top. You got that kind of break there. You can go kind of off all these. This will eventually work its way higher. It's staying above support. Everything looks fine. We've broken out of the short-term pattern here to the upside. Transocean's doing the sideways thing. It's a down day today. It's above its breakout line. I think it looks fine. PUMP, again, we're just going sideways. It's kind of a consolidation pattern before moving higher. Again, everything's broken everything's broken, so everything's good. It's all good to move on up eventually. Exterion Corporation, it broke out of its resistance line. You could even bounce off this again. I would consider that to be another buy signal down here. VAL, this is Valaris. Nice big bullish engulfing. Looks like it wants to run higher. MMA Offshore, another one. I was a buyer in this area. I don't own this stock in my portfolio. I don't know how to buy it. I don't have any way of buying it at this time. But this chart looks fantastic for a move higher. When you get these big bullish engulfings like this, look at the volume. The volume's kicking up. This is going to go higher, guys. This chart looks fantastic. It's MMA Offshore Limited. Tidewater just ripping higher. This thing looks fantastic as well. It's down in no man's land. Nice big move higher here. What I own on this, and I haven't disclosed, I'll put it on the website that I have, finding-value.com, is a way to play this if you guys are interested. Looking at NEX, next to your oil field solutions, this guy's been on fire. Yeah, it's a small down day today. But again, we've got a big pattern break. It looks fantastic. I like how the momentum came down, went sideways, and now this thing's going to head up. They're all showing that. They all look very, very nice. KLXE, again, I'll shout out to Adrian for bringing this up. This chart looks fantastic. It does. Again, we got the downward momentum, the sideways momentum, and then eventually this is going to move higher. That's what I see in bottoming patterns. The rest of the energy service companies are doing that as well. We've got a lot of very volatile movements. This will eventually make its way up over time. And yep, that's KLXE. CHX is one I also like. It's getting a little bit of resistance right now from this downtrend line. That's CHX. But again, we're going to break out of here and we're going to have some fun and run eventually. Cactus Incorporated. Let's go to the dailies here. We're moving on up, getting a little bit of selling pressure today. It's not like a bearish engulfing or anything like that. That's just normal selling pressure. I still think that these are all excellent companies to hold. So we're above the downtrend line. Everything's intact, guys. So whenever you guys play with the short squeeze, if you go after this stuff, you will get large volatile days out of this. So these ones where you get these big short squeezes, they can sell off quite rapidly too until it kind of calms down. OII is a company that I like in this area right here. I think it looks fantastic for a potential buy down here. It's breaking on out. We'll probably see a run at some point. Noble Energy, this is one that I own in the personal portfolio. It broke out of this pattern. I liked how we had higher lows stepping up into it. I have the arrow and the eventual break. I would be holding on to it. I wouldn't do anything with it. Helix Energy Solutions, yeah, we've had a massive run, guys. Boom, boom, boom. We might have a little bit of sideways action, maybe a slight pullback, and then we'll run at it again. CGGYY is one that I also own. It's an energy service company. It's in no man value land. No man value land. I like it. Here's your double booty bottom, and we're going to work our way up. We're going to have to break this through there. It's going to take time, but it's a very good value play for a long-term play, in my opinion. And then someone wanted me to look at Petrofac Limited. So if we were to look at this, what I look at is a couple of things. And I'm going to just kind of describe this going through it. You kind of have this line going through here. And why did I draw it there and not above? Well, you've got a hit here, a hit there, a couple of hits in here. I'm hitting the lines, and it broke through it on this thing, and then we're doing some retest sideways movements. Then I start looking at the bottom. I say, what about the volume down here? Volume looks like we're pretty good. I'm looking at the lows. Are the lows stepping up? They are. They're stepping up a little bit. We're staying above this downtrend line. So we can zoom in on the right-hand side. Are we seeing buying pressure and small selling pressure? So here's the big buying pressure. We're kind of coming on down. It's coming on down. Bullish engulfing right there. That should be your signal that maybe we could buy something. And this might take some time to move higher. It doesn't mean that we're just going to rocket higher. But the rest of the energy sector is looking pretty good. So let's throw a trend line in here. Let's see if we can, what this does. The downtrend line looks like it's broken. I'd say it's somewhere like there. So it broke out of this, and then we're just scooting sideways. I think it actually looks really good for a buy. What is this? That's PFC. So I've got PFC. I'll buy it in the donations portfolio since you guys are bringing it up. And TEL looks good too. Those are the two that I like. But that's what I've got for this one. That one looks really good. It's way down there. It might be one to look at if you're a patient investor and want to buy a little bit of shares. So guys, I am like ultra patient. Okay. If you're not patient, the it's a much harder to make money because you can't force the market to do something it doesn't want to do. We are at the whim of what the market wants to do. All I do is I look for things that are down. The ratios will tell me which area that's at. We then look at the market conditions to see if the market conditions are ripe. So that's a high inflationary environment. We've got low interest rates that are going to be going up. Rotate money into these sectors, and then I just sit in them. That's all I do. I find things that are down. I'm looking for downtrend breaks. I'm looking for pattern breaks. If I can find those things, I buy it. I cost average in, and then I just sit on it. I don't do anything with it. And eventually, what happens is the market wakes up, and then all the money comes flooding in, and it revalues itself. Sometimes it happens very quickly. Sometimes it's a little bit slow. I mean, that's just the way the market is. You can't pinpoint the complete bottom. If I could pinpoint the bottom of every single move of every single time, then I'd be like an ultra billionaire or ultra quadrillionaire. I guess I would suck out all value of everything because I knew everything what would happen before it happened. I could be the best planner of the world of of ever because I would know things before they'd happen. But I don't have that capabilities. I don't know if anyone does. And what we do is we identify things that are down that are breaking down trend lines. And then we enter them, and then we just relax and enjoy the show. That's it. If you guys like the content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, guys. Thanks for listening. This is Finding Value.